he has a reason to be afraid of these individuals. Okay? So I'm just throwing that out as being one of those situations, because if you investigated this natural news thing and you're saying the Chinese government is behind that, you see, this is what people don't seem to understand. They don't realize the game being played. There is a game, there is strategy, and governments are playing these games, and they have a purpose behind everything they do. And it's when you start getting into that, boy, it's really fascinating.
Well, I can tell you about Stubblebine. I've spoken with him directly. I requested, finally got through eventually, and my question that I was after, and although it wouldn't necessarily be answered truthfully, I wanted to hear the answer. I wanted to hear it because there could be, whenever you get into this kind of thing, Carrie, you're asking somebody a yes or no question. We always have to remember yes may not be true and no may not be true. So no matter what kind of answer you get, you might not be getting the truth. So I asked him,
right, you know? There could be several. In other words, the positive things can be happening too. This is where people get confused.
So I asked this general, who happened at that time to be in charge of all military intelligence, which just so happened to be during the time that my handler was in a position to be known by that kind of person if he knew my friend, my handler, the person that trained me. He said no. Now, I just about fell off my chair. I was really kind of taken back. I thought, well, he might say yes because he knows who he is. I mean, we're not talking about a man. We're talking about a man whose father was in foreign service and an attaché for the Berlin embassy during World War II. They became trapped behind enemy lines, and his father, the one that trained me, became a judge at the Nuremberg trials. We're not talking about low-profile people here that have a hidden history of work in espionage because his father was head of military intelligence behind enemy lines in World War II. So we're talking about second-generation intelligence people here. He would have known him, but yeah. He refused to tell me he did. Now that kind of concerns me because, well, maybe I am wrong. Maybe he doesn't know him. Maybe they weren't together. Well, they went inside the same agency. I can't imagine, okay? I was never, quote, officially in military, okay? Never anything that I did was anywhere. But, oh, yeah, I've been caught by communist regimes. I've been thrown in the corner and 25 AK-47s pointed at me. I've been in 2 revolutions in foreign countries. I know what this stuff is like. I've been there. But the point is, this person was lying. I can't tell you with facts. I can just tell you I'm pretty sure. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't go this 100%. But my odds for forecasting the weather are about 85 to 90%. Why he would do that? Maybe just to protect his own rear end. Maybe because Frank was a white hat and he isn't. I don't know. So that was just something real intriguing to me. And I just wanted you to know that General Stubblebine has not been overlooked as far as people checking. Okay? The thing that happens with all of this is to look at how people behave. Now, I'm kind of an odd creature. I just lay it out on the table. When I don't like something, it can be disaster. I can be a bull in the china cabinet, and there can be casualties of good people. But you never have to worry about where I stand. And so that's a predictable element from the other side. They can predict it. Now, when I become unpredictable, that just throws all the pins and needles. So then I have to behave a certain way. Certain kinds of characteristics. They look at you by the way you walk, the way you talk. Frank never went without a golf hat on because of satellites. Period. End of story. Now
That's great.
Now
that line could be in a movie, I have to tell
you. So anyway, the day that I turned down the official final deal, he was very, very kind. We stayed friends. He still involved me after I officially refused. And we'd go, he'd ask if I'd like to take a trip, and I say, okay, well, then fine, only to come to find out after I do that about 6 or 7 times, only to go pick up the receipt that says U.S. government office from the motel, I find out we're working. You know, so regardless of the fact whether or not you think you're working, you might actually be. We call that sometimes when somebody gets involved with an intelligence agents and they're being used. So, for example, the person that we're talking about might be having other people say things too because these people are followed. The information's given to somebody else, see? And then that person goes out and has maybe their own venue or forum to talk, and the information they're talking about is from the person that we're talking about.
Right,
well,
but they're running,
that's a mule.
Okay, but they are also running agents that don't know that they're basically who they're employed by. But those people are actually viewed as employees. That's what I think is just really funny. And I know people like that. I can name you one person in particular, and you know, and you don't know who I'm talking about right now. But I have to say it's fascinating because you know, and there are others as well. And it's just these people are working. They are working.
They're working. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that's just like a really fascinating little game they play.
There are people that are called mules that are working, doing exactly what they've been asked to do, but their motive is very patriotic, maybe very much different, but it's doing it exactly what the other person wants for a different reason. So, for example, somebody might be repeating this information of 40 to 50 million people, thinking that it's absolutely true, and they're doing it from the deepness of their heart because they're concerned about the people. But the first person that gave them the information is giving it to them for a whole different reason. Are you following me? Is that so? Anyway, you have what's called a mule. They're actually there. They're dumb about the intentions. Yeah. And they're doing something, and they're just carrying either the operation out or they're carrying the information forward.
Well, now, let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this, because let's get down to this BP situation here. And, you know, I don't know if did you read my blog that I just posted?
I heard about it, but I haven't read it. There you go. And I'm sure that it's about 90% accurate what I got. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. And, you know, you can look at it, at your leisure. But the thing is that, okay, that there is the idea behind it is the psychology of manipulating public opinion in such a way that one of the ideas being that they want an outcry of people demanding a nuke to seal the leak. And those people are going to be coming from, you know, their hearts in the best way possible and all this kind of nonsense. And in reality, what they're asking for is, you know, could result in the end of civilization as we know it, basically. So this is the kind of thing that we're talking about stakes getting higher here. And we're talking about playing on the emotions of the public in such a way that they come to the wrong conclusion.
I lost you.
Are you there?
Okay, can you hear me?
Hello. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Something happened. I don't know what happened.
Okay, I think I guess I said something interesting.
always the way it is. Just maybe the topic may just be a ELE event, but go ahead.